Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Friday, March 24th, and we are closing out a very interesting week. We had the FOMC announcement on Wednesday, and we've had nothing but wonky volatility since then. So let's go ahead and cover, a little bit about what happened. We obviously had the show yesterday with Monty. We didn't dig in super hard in terms of our usual technicals, but we did talk about, general price performance, and we're more or less flat since we had that conversation. Obviously a little bit down from the boost yesterday, but Bitcoin still above 26.6K. If we check that out, and Ethereum is still above, the 1700 number. So we don't have a bearish trend yet, but we're certainly starting to move in that direction. So we're looking at DXY right now, and we typically, have been looking at DXY for strength versus weakness in risk markets. And obviously, DXY we spoke when we spoke yesterday was below here and deviating up. So I mentioned the trade the chain community. If we broke back above 102.5, it would probably spell some bearishness for risk. Certainly the case. We are stalling, of course, around the 103 number, but kind of two directions I gave. And of course, this is a 12-hour candle, a very slow moving asset. So usually takes, a full 12 to 24 hours for these things to play out. But basically, two choices here for the dollar: move higher towards 103.7 or drop back lower towards 102.6 or the recent lows. So that's to really pick your poison. It does seem, we've got this kind of trend kicking right here, to where it definitely wants to try and break above that trend, but we do not know that. So, definitely something to keep watch of. Obviously, this will stop trading in a couple hours because it will be the weekend. U.S. markets do not trade, end of Friday until late Sunday. So a good 48-hour gap in terms of data for this. So if this starts to curl a little bit down, heading into the weekend, maybe Bitcoin and crypto get some life, but I wouldn't, I'm not betting on that too much right now. It does seem like DXY is certainly trying to lift higher, but we could still see downward volatility, definitely to these lows or to recent lows, which would obviously give risk a little bit of breathing room before DXY moved higher. So if we kind of zoom out, in my perspective, this does, look a little bit reversally, nice wick, deviation under, acceptance back into the range. So if you are a scalp trader or swing trader, that's certainly a formation that you enjoy seeing, but you obviously need follow through and need to break above the resistance level at 103.7. So I think it's more likely than not that we move in that direction, but the intermediate volatility could, keep us around the 103 level, within a few percentage points of that, or I guess, a few tenths of a percentage point around that until Monday. So very much something to watch out for. I think it will probably end up moving higher. We did predict it moving lower, but, of course, whenever you see wicks like this, you definitely are thinking reversal. So we had notified the trade the chain community of that. And now I'm getting a little bit cautious here, because I'm not, if this does move higher and break this downward trend, you're probably shorting risk in this scenario if it's moving up past this trend. But as long as it's below this trend, you're still interested in longing risk. So very much, good to understand that perspective right there. So looking at equities, we're on the daily chart now. It means some really ugly volatility from equities, but we are above, support at 39.30, which, brings us down into this ugly little range here. So above 39.30, you've got, you've got good reasons to continue to be bullish. But on the other hand, we are below the 1-day estimated 200 moving average for the S&P 500. So very much something we need to break above to continue to be bullish. And of course, that resistance has confluence with that 40.10 number, which was quite significant, several weeks ago. So above 39.30, good things happen. But, we're certainly not out of the woods yet. So, definitely, could be a bull flag here, could be kind of a descending wedge. Kind of draw, this could be your wedge right here. Or you could, kind of have something more like a bull flag, depending on how you want to draw that. So, I know my lines are kind of snapped to go all the way down. So, ignore, the extensions, but, it is a little bit, it's definitely starting to form somewhat of a bullish formation. Tap the low, swept the lows, deviate back up in above the support level. Now we're hovering around the VWAP. So if I kind of zoom in a little bit, we're looking at the VWAP here. We want to stay above the VWAP, which is 39.50. Stay above the VWAP, then you can start targeting 40.10 again. And of course, if you can get above 40.10, then you have room to roam. So VWAP is where it's sitting right now. Then we probably want to get above the 4-hour 200 moving average. Then we want to get up to 40.10, and then we want to do that formation. So that's, obviously the good situation. If we break above the VWAP but get cut at the 200-day moving average, then we'll probably end up, back to 39.30. If you get above the 200-day moving average, then you can target the 40.10 level. So take it level by level. We've gone over this type of trading plenty of times. I hope many of you recognize it. VWAP first target, estimated 200 moving average second target, top of range third target. So not a bad long here, but obviously trading will close for the weekend until Sunday. So this is more or less just a weather vane for me. Again, we're looking at the 4-hour here. This 4-hour trend, RSI trend seems to be broken. Typically, the way I trade this is we'll see a snapback here and then we'll trade up, or it'll just end up careening down. So good to play if we get a retap on that RSI. Really good play right there. That tap could come with a rejection from the VWAP back down to 39.30. So then if 39.30 holds by Sunday, then you will probably have a decent week. And then, so if we drop down here before the close today, crypto probably looks bearish because, we could not accept above the VWAP. If we accept above the VWAP by the close today, crypto has another reason to be bullish because equities obviously had a pretty good close. So above the VWAP, crypto has a much better narrative for the weekend. Below the VWAP, crypto has a pretty poor narrative for the weekend, and obviously above the VWAP means that there's a chance for bullishness for equities headed into next week. So looking at Bitcoin, you can see the lines that I drew for the TTC community right around the open. We were above the VWAP this morning. I said if we stay above the VWAP, we could target the highs and potentially get rejected at the highs, but we obviously dripped below the VWAP and we're now trading under it for the past couple of hours. And I said if we drop below the VWAP, then we'd probably be likely to 27K or 26.6K. So this kind of area right here, which is supports, and then obviously the estimated 200 moving average, which acted as support during that previous dip and has acted as support, plenty of times previously. So typically, we like the VWAP, we like the estimated 200 moving average. VWAP failed. Now we target the estimated 200 moving average. But in this case, Bitcoin has been trading around this little kind of VWAP cloud a lot. So we have kind of 4 targets if you were short. So you shorted the VWAP. You're short here, you're targeting here. If you're short here, you're still targeting here. But I would start to probably close out of any shorts around the, the estimated 200 moving average, in my opinion. And then, of course, if we hold this little purple cloud area, then we would want to reclaim the VWAP, reclaim previous daily close, and then reclaim the highs. Else you are doing something like this where you're bouncing on the estimated 200 moving average or you're bouncing at support. If we break below 26.6, the bearish trend begins. 26.6 is my line in the sand for bullishness. If we break above 28.6, then the bullish trend continues. That is my line in the sand for bullish momentum. So you are stuck in a range right here. You can obviously trade this range pretty well with the targets that we've defined, and obviously the resistance being 28.6, 28.7. But as soon as you break above that, you've got a lot of room up to 32. As soon as you break below 26.6, you're pretty much doomed to 25 or the 24s. And if you're stuck above 26.6 but below 28.6, you are ranging in here with the VWAP, previous daily close, and estimated 200 moving average as bounce and short targets. So looking at Ethereum, very similar. I'll go ahead and bring the VWAP and estimated 200 moving average. Let's start on the 4-hour like we did for Bitcoin. So we talked this morning, Ethereum is also hovering around the VWAP when the morning started. It obviously broke down. We said if it broke down from the VWAP, probably targeting anywhere around 1730 all the way down to 1705. We're obviously just above 1730 with, and we did, tag that to a T earlier. So if you are bullish, you want to be back above the estimated 200 moving average. So let's go ahead and give you, if we did recover here, then you would probably see something like this. Grab the 200 moving average, grab the VWAP, and then start targeting previous daily close and potentially higher. If you are bearish, or if you are still continually bearish from this break from the VWAP, then you are continually targeting a drop down to 1705, 1715, which is obviously the low from here. So I wouldn't, exactly start digging into longs here, but if we do start to, see maybe a large buy candle come in, or we do break above that estimated 200 moving average, then you can maybe pipe a little bit of a long up to at least the estimated or the VWAP here, or potentially the previous daily close, which was 1815, maybe 1800, 1795 as a kind of a median target. So we are getting a bit oversold on the hourly. Again, our equities close up trading in about 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours. So actually, well, I was on the 4 hour there. So what is the exact time? So equities stop trading in 2 hours, and we're above the VWAP now. So we want to see that close above the VWAP. If that's the case, then maybe Bitcoin and Ethereum survive their current lows, and then at least try and run the highs of the range again. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4 runs of the highs. Typically, we see a sell-off after 3. So the fact that we held that and then tried it again, clearly the market makers are trying to bust through these levels, but seeing a lot of sells at the high. So I'm not fully convinced yet, but again, if equities close nicely, and nicely means above the trend and above the VWAP, then I think Bitcoin and Ethereum have a reason to at least continue some bullish trajectory potentially into Saturday or Sunday, bringing us back to previous highs at the least, for then potentially maybe another rejection, or on the bright side, potentially breaking through. So while I'm not immediately bullish now, I do accept that we've seen a lot of bearishness throughout the day, and if equities close well, then we could have a pretty good weekend. So and then just looking at the ticker tape here, see if we can glean any insight. Nothing crazy here. Spot and perps have been running very similarly here. No one's been kind of outpacing anybody. So very orderly buying and selling right now. So if anything does pop up in terms of, seeing massive spot buys or massive perp sells or vice versa, we'll obviously update everybody. But right now, everything seems pretty regular and orderly. I think everybody's kind of got these eyes on equities and trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do. But they certainly look a lot better than they did, very early this morning. So positive preliminarily from them. Hopefully we get similar from Bitcoin and Ethereum, else we are going to trickle down to at least the recent lows that we met over the past week or so. So good luck, happy trading, and of course, see everybody early next week on Monday for your next daily crypto update. Good luck and happy trading this weekend, everybody.